Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? I hope you're all doing well tonight. So, I wanted to go ahead and make a video talking about maximizing your profits for your TCG player accounts slash storefronts if you do sell on TCG player. And before I get into this video, first off, it's been a while since I've done a video like this where I've sat on my computer chair and gone over business with you guys. It's been quite a few months, I would say. I think in the last few months I've only been coming up with like vlogs, some investment videos, and just kind of like hot takes lately on my channel. Um, but my channel is mainly about business, and that is what I am swinging back towards of giving you guys pretty much everything, like investing, business, hot takes, opinions, speculation, all that, right, on this channel. And my speculations could be controversial at times, especially for business. I know a lot of people that sell on TCG Player, that have sold on TCG Player for years, don't agree with me on some of these, uh, I would say, methods that I have presented already on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to go ahead and present another topic for TCG Player. Now, I've had questions on my YouTube for a long time addressing this problem that a lot of TCG players are running into, and that is basically maximizing your profits, like basically leaving money on the table. And then that's basically the consensus of the community that's on my channel, at least, is what most people are struggling with their TCG stores. So I'm going to go ahead and address the problems of what most TCG player sellers are running into and why a lot of people just end up quitting. Okay. And obviously give you the solutions. And then after I give you the solutions, just give you a few of my opinions, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this video up. And hopefully this video doesn't take no longer than like anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes at most. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm really excited to do get back to doing videos like this because this is my bread and butter. This is I literally do this every single day. So without further ado, before I get started though, because there's probably new people that are chiming in onto this video. My name is Jem Poles. I am an eBay seller. I sell on eBay. I sell Pokemon singles, Japanese Pokemon. I've sold slabs before. So I've been in the space for about a year and a half now. I just came off of my biggest quarter this quarter that we just got past, which was quarter one, obviously, of 2024. And just to show you guys a little bit of my sales for eBay, I did about over 12K in revenue from January 1st all the way to March 31st. Now, I'm not flexing. That's not what I'm doing, okay? Very humble guy. I don't give a shit about flexing. I'm just giving you guys these numbers to show you that I am not a guru or, you know, some type of person that has no experience of what they're actually don't have no idea what they're talking about, right? This is just a proof of work for you guys to understand that um, I put in the action of what I preach. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So maximize your profits. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and address the problems that most TCG player sellers are struggling with today. And I'm going to go ahead and just address the first 3 points right here. Okay, so problem number one. Problem number one is that most TCG sellers that sell TCG player are selling very low end bulk cards that range from anywhere from a penny to $1. Okay, now if you guys have been on my channel for a while, you know that I religiously tell you guys to not sell bulk only. Like if you're selling only common and uncommon cards, that is a big no-no. I'm going to get right into it of all the details of why this is a big no-no. Okay, so that's problem number one. You're selling very cheap cards that it's basically not desirable at all. Very easy to get, and there's nothing rare about them, right? Cool. Problem number two, volume sales is actually resulting in more losses. Okay, that one's going to be an eye opener for a lot of people because I went through and I actually did basically numbers, giving you guys the numbers and math in this later slide, and show you guys why having high volume sales is actually costing you way more money and putting you in losses. Okay, and then finally, your shipping is too high. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the next slide. Talk about low end bulk cards. Okay, so if you're selling anywhere from a penny card to a card that's anything below $1, okay, like I just said, if your bulk only contains commons and uncommons, you lack diversity in your inventory. Okay, just addressing the problems. I'm not going to address the solutions yet, But like I said, you lack diversity. Okay, if your most expensive card in your inventory is worth $2, $3, $4 card, right? That's a problem. That's a humongous problem. Okay, so like I said, bulk that only contains commons and uncommons. That's pretty, you know, that's pretty straightforward. Next is that you're selling low-end bulk cards that are easy to obtain, very low rarity. They kind of just, that's why they're only worth a penny, 10 cents, and some, things like that. So these cards they have just no rarity, right? You're going against humongous amounts of competition on TCGPlayer of people selling the exact same cards. How are you going to be able to stick out if you're selling the same stuff as the other person next to you? And there's thousands and thousands of people selling on TCGPlayer that are selling the exact same cards as you. How does your store stick out? Right? Ask yourself that question. Okay. Third one, your store is no different from the rest of the other stores, blah, 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 like I just said. And that's it. I'm not going to repeat myself. Okay. So these are the three major problems that is easily, that people just don't take in consideration, right? People just easily just blows over their head and they don't take this in consideration. Like, why are my sales low? Why am I getting a lot more sales, but I'm also losing money? That's the questions that people are asking, and people are just confused. Okay, well, here's the problem, right? So this is the first one, low-end cards. Second, volume sales resulting in losses, okay? So pay attention to this, okay? Because this is just an example, but this is going to be an eye-opener for a lot of you guys, okay? So the more sales you get, the more money you lose, right? How is that possible? You're selling more, but you're losing more money. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go through this entire example, okay? So the first things you have to understand is your expenses, okay? Supply cost, stamp, and fee. That's going to be the major expense that you're going to have. Okay, so I've calculated for all my stuff, for your supplies, top loader, team bag, uh, what else? Penny sleeve, envelope, everything like that. It ends up totaling being like 25 cents. Okay, stamp 68 cents right now, and then the fee on TCGPlayer, it's 15%, but you add in that final value fee, you add that in there, ends up being about 17%. Okay, so that's what you need to consider when every single time you sell something, you got to factor this in per order. Okay, so example, here we go. Here's the eye opener for a lot of you guys. Okay, you buy a bulk collection of 1,000 cards for $50. Sounds like a pretty good deal, right? You're essentially paying, I don't know the math on that, 5 cents per card, I think. Is it 5 cents? My math's terrible, but there you go. I have a fifth grade level of math. I can only multiply and add, and then use my fingers and divide and subtract. So, anyways, that's not important. You list all 1,000. Each card on average sells for about 15 cents each. Okay, so we're saying basically you're just averaging out. When you get a big lot of bulk, sometimes you're gonna have 25-cent cards. Cards are worth a penny. Cards are worth 10 cents. We'll just do an average of 15 cents, okay, per card. Okay. Now, revenue would be 0.15. Let's say, for example, you sell all 1,000 cards, right? Okay, which equals a revenue of $150. Great. Okay, this is a lot more than the $50 that you originally spent, right? This is your capital that you started off with, which is the $50. Okay, but like I said, we have to calculate this, right? So let's go ahead and break this down. The fee, okay? Now, when I did this math, okay, I was being extremely generous because I want to make a point. I did not even include this into the total, okay? This is going to be a lot less right here because I didn't add this in. And once you guys see how bad the losses are, you're going to realize it's even worse when you actually factor in the real life, scenario when going into this, okay? So ignore this, okay? I didn't even add this in, right? I only did 15, or I'm sorry, I can't even talk 'cause it's literally 2 o'clock in the morning right now. $150 times 15%, which is going to give you $124, okay? $124.50. Okay, cool. That's what you're left with after the fees. Okay, not including this. Supplies. Supplies cost about 25 cents per order. Let's say each order, you sell about 4 cards per order. Okay, again, I'm being extremely generous. Okay, because this number could be a lot higher. This could be literally 1,000 cards, meaning you had 1,000 orders, which is going to be even a bigger loss. Okay, but I'm being extremely generous. Let's say you do sell 4 cards per order. Okay, hypothetically, which results in being 250 orders. Okay, 250 orders times 0.25. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this number. Okay, and times I'm sorry, we're going to take 250 times 0.25, right? Which is going to equal $62, okay? So now, literally, this is cut in half from 124 to $62 at this point after, putting in the fee and putting in the supplies, okay? This is what you have left over. Now we got to add the stamps, right? Now, here's the killer. 68 cents times 250 orders is going to equal $170 for just stamps. So you take $62 minus 170 is going to equal negative $108. Okay. So you lost a lot of money. You can say you lost about half your money because the $50 that you started off with, minus 108, it's going to be a $58 loss. Well, you're losing your $50 to your initial capital plus an additional $58 from all the expenses that you have. You're at like a negative, you're at like a loss of 50%, pretty much. Actually, no, you're at a loss at 100%. The math is so weird because you never see math like this that you lost 100% of your money. That's insane, right? You don't even have anything in your capital, right? It's not like you went from $50 to $30, right? That's left over in your capital. No, your capital got swallowed up along with extra that you put in, which ends up being a negative 108. So it's literally like 100% loss. Like way more than that, probably like 102%, 103%, whatever the case may be, right? You lost a lot of money. If you're not factoring this stuff in, okay, this right here is the reason why a lot of people are not making money and a lot of people are struggling. This right here, okay, and I was even being generous of not even including this, and just hypothetically, every card you sold or every order you sold was 200 or was 4 cards per order, right? That's a little scary, right? Very scary. Um, this is the result you get when you're only selling just cheap cards. I know cheap cards are very easy to come by. Hell, you can even go buy your own. You can buy a booster box, and it literally gives you like what 400 cards, 400 bulk cards from just one booster box. Should be easy to come by, right? Um, again, these are just the numbers right here. Numbers don't lie. This is just how it is. Don't get mad at me. But literally, if you're only selling cheap cards, then this is the result. So let's go ahead and just come up with the solutions, all right? Or actually, there's one more. This one's really short. Your shipping is too high. The only exception to this rule is that uh, you are in the TCGPlayer Direct program, right? That's a completely different story. I'm not going to get into that. But if you're not in this program, okay, your shipping is too high, okay? I know you can adjust your shipping to like I think 199. I think for if you're not in the TCG Direct program. Uh, but I think people like you have to realize that what's different about the card you're selling next to the person that's selling it cheaper. People are gonna go with the person that is selling it cheaper, right? So you know what I'm saying, like that's if your shipping's too high and your store is just a basic store, the person that's trying to buy this card is gonna go to the next person that's selling it for a dollar less, right, or 50 cents less, right? Whatever the buyer can get, tallied off on that, receipt, they're gonna go with it, right? So the after $5 threshold for free shipping should be on all your listings, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and go into the solutions, but this is actually one of the solutions I would say that you need to put the $5 threshold for free shipping, okay, on all your listings, okay? It's gonna incentivize the buyer to buy more cards off of your shop, okay? Now, that's actually one solution. Okay, even though I didn't put this in a solution slide, but this is the solutions. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about this really quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So diversify with high-end cards, low-end cards, and cheap bulk. That's solution number one. Okay, you guys have to find the higher end cards. Okay, the alt arts, the SIRs, the full arts. Okay, you need that in your inventory. Okay, because when a buyer's trying to buy something from you, from your TCG store, right? They're gonna see that you have some really nice hits, and these hits are desirable because they're hard to get. A lot of people are collectors. They build binders. They build master sets. And there's always a few cards that they're missing that they need to complete their master sets. You have to think, what does the buyer want? What is the buyer's needs? Okay? You need to have these chase cards in your inventory. Okay? And when you have these chase cards, okay, and when the buyer's on your store, they're gonna think to themselves, let me go ahead and just check the rest of this person's store. Maybe they have something else I can buy. Then they start buying the cheaper end bulk or the lower end cards to complete that order, right? So that person ends up leaving with 10 cards instead of just one card that's worth a penny, right? They end up leaving your store, and that revenue ends up being a $15-$20 order, right? That's exactly what you want. And there's only like, it's like a 5 card order, right? They pick up a couple common cards or a few, low end cards, get a couple chase cards, boom. That right there, okay? You solve the issue because you want, literally, you got to think about it this way, okay? I'm going to use an analogy. Let's say you go to the gym. You go to the gym and you want to get in shape, okay? Well, there's a whole program of how to get in shape, right? Okay, first of all, you got to go to the gym. You have to, have a gym routine. Let's say you want to go 3 days a week. Cool, go 3 days a week. After that, then you got to start eating well, okay? You start eating your proteins, you start tracking your proteins, you start tracking your carbs, you start tracking your fats, okay? And then after that, you have a little bit of micronutrients, which is basically, what is it? I don't know what the micronutrients are. I used to be really good at this stuff. I used to be a personal trainer. I don't even remember my micronutrients, right? But the micronutrients, think about it this way: the micronutrients, right? You can just think about it on your plate of food, the fruits like the strawberries, the blueberries. Those are very low end foods that are supplemental into the big foods, right? And the big foods is what's fueling you of the big picture, right? The gym, you working out is the alternate arts and the SIRs, okay? The big foods like the main, the main nutrients, the macronutrients, your proteins, your fats, and your carbs, that's gonna be like the full arts. That's gonna be like, the $5 to $10 chase cards, right? That are below $20. And then like the little supplemental stuff like the blueberries, the strawberries, and the bananas, stuff like that are very small. Okay, those are your little bulk cards that trickle into that order, right? Is there a hierarchy? So I don't know if I explained that analogy right. It's literally almost 3 in the morning. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's how you gotta think about it when it comes to this stuff. Okay, your bulk cards that are worth a penny to 10 cents, dude, that's not a main card. Nobody cares about that card. Okay, they might just pick it up as a supplemental card, whether they play the game of Pokemon or they're a collector and they just need a few more common cards that they need, or a reverse holo of a common card, whatever the case may be. You get my drift. Let's move on. You need to list every single day. Okay, you need to start listing every single day. Start listing at least 10 a day. Okay, listing on TCGPlayer, there's no excuse. You should be able to have the ability to list 10 cards in like 10 minutes. Okay, it's extremely easy to list on TCGPlayer. eBay, on the other hand, is extremely slow. Okay, to list cards on eBay. TCGPlayer, it's very simple. You should be able to list 50 in an hour if you really grinded it, right? But nonetheless, start listing every single day. Okay, and build that inventory. List every single day. Okay. Last, your capital should be at least $1,000 when you start seeing better gains. So your capital that you have in the bank in your business account, okay, that's gonna be the money that's going to be pretty much the capital of your business. Okay, you need to use that capital to basically fish for the bigger profits, right? So $1,000, I would say I would recommend that you probably need to start fishing for the bigger profit margins. Like, let's say you buy a binder, right, a collection binder for like $500. The person's getting rid of it for, I don't know, 350, 75%, and you factor in all the costs and everything like that. And then once you sell pretty much everything out of that binder, you're left with a profit margin of like anywhere from 7 to 10% profit margin, right? And then you end up making like an extra, I don't know, $50, anywhere from $50 to $60 off that one binder. Cool. Now do that 100 times. Do that 200 times. Do that 1,000 times, right? Within your capital, okay? Your capital is going to continually be returned back to you, okay? Do not, have a good amount of money that you invested in the start. How much you want to start, how much you want to start in the beginning, okay? But over time, you stop using your personal funds of funding that business account. You use whatever you have in your business account, and you just continue to get that money back, put that money in, get that money back, put that money in, get that money back, so on and so forth, okay? And then obviously build those profits in your inventory. So your inventory grows over time, right? Getting your money back is extraordinarily a great feeling when you get your money back after you bought after you bought whatever you bought, like a collection, right? And you end up getting your money back, right? And the rest is just gravy, dude. It's gravy in your inventory. You do whatever the hell you want. You can hold it, you can, fire sell it, you can do whatever you want with it after that point because you're not in debt to yourself, okay? I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'm going above 20 minutes. But I hope you guys understand. Right now it's 3 a.m. I'm a little tired. But after seeing all this, I really hope this helps you guys. Okay. We need to start improving as sellers, okay? And we need to stop thinking that we can just get big from just selling very cheap cards, okay? Um, you just can't do that anymore, guys. We have to fish for we just have to fish for the bigger fish. That's just plain and simple, okay? The more capital you have, literally the more buying power you have to buy more expensive things. Buy slabs, you can buy, singles, binders, anything like that, right? And I tell you guys how to source for that. It's in my YouTube channel, okay? So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. If you guys like today's video, go ahead and give me a like, give me a sub, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your night, guys, and have a good weekend. Peace out.